Yo, what's up? Welcome to Numbers with Jacari. I'm your host, Jacari, but you already know, call me Ace. And in this episode, we're talking about the number 8 in 2024. We are in a universal 8 year, and 8 and 8 together. It's still 8. We're not doing any math in regards to that. So if you're born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th, you are a psychic 8. So this one's for you. But also, if you have an 8 in your birth information in regards to your birthday specifically, so being born on the 18th or the 28th, this might resonate with you. But also, if you have a destiny 8 and name number 8, or you're in a personal 8 year, I would recommend definitely listening to this entire episode so you know what 2024 holds for you to an extent. Now, I will say that you do have personal years. So those, not only those personal years, but multiple personal years is what I'm trying to say. So I'd recommend checking out my Intro to Numerology guide to learn how to calculate those in multiple systems. But also, if you want somebody else to do it for you, like me, definitely slide my way and get your consultation so we can start working together and I can help you out and even give you more information on how this universal 8 year is likely to impact you and the things that you can expect. Now, if you're liking what you're hearing, make sure you share this on your socials and tag me at Numbers with Jacari on Instagram or TikTok. All the direct links are in the description of this episode, but let's go ahead and get into it. Now, you may think that because it's a universal 8 year, you have the number 8, everything is on your side, you're nice and aligned. 8 is one of the most complex numbers. And this isn't to say that everything's going to suddenly not go your way. No, babe. There's duality. Things can go great. Things can go bad. It's just a part of life. There's ebbs and flows with everything. So I want you to take that into account as you listen to everything I'm saying, because it can go both ways. It's not going to automatically be incredible. It's also not going to automatically suck. So keep that in mind. But the overall 8 themes, I did talk about this in my Universal 8 year episodes. I have a couple of those out, so definitely go check those out. But 8 themes highlight power, wisdom, fame, structure, stability, foundations, time, generational things, and one of the most common things being abundance and another one being money. But we also have abuse and neglect and instability and self-isolation in there as well. So it's not always so much love and light for the number 8. Now, I will recommend that you listen to the number 3 episode because you do have a couple of shared themes. So I want you to be able to get a very well-rounded experience of what is likely to transpire in 2024. So I'd recommend checking that out. But one of the biggest themes for you this year is around relationships. And this not only is just relationships in general, but I mean like literally every single type of relationship, but specifically familial and also romantic. Mainly familial because of the number 8's connection to generational things, but also this ties into the romantic because to further the generations, you typically have a partner of some sort, and sometimes that is a long-term romantic partner, other times it is not, but there's a level of intimacy exchange to create more life. So that brings up relationships for you this year. Now, in regards to those relationships, I want you to make sure that you are being honest, not only with yourself, but with these people that you're in a relationship with and how you're interacting with them. If you don't like what's being said, talk about it. If you don't like what's being done, talk about it. If you want something to change, talk about it. I do know that communication isn't always fun, especially open communication and such, what is the word? Upfront and blunt and like communication. It can be a little bit difficult. It can be a little bit weird, especially because society doesn't automatically work like that. There's a lot of ins and outs in communication in regards to a global or more social side. So I really want you to work on that in your relationships of explicit. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Explicit communication. I want you to be very explicit in what you want and what your wants or your needs are, not only on those romantic sides, but also that familial side, because family doesn't always have to be just blood. You can choose your family if you so choose. And I want you to be able to get that family structure and dynamic you deserve, because structure is one of the things that is connected to the number 8. So if you don't like how something's built, if you don't like how something's developing or growing, you have the power to alter that and change that. So I want you to do that. There's also an emphasis around self-perception, how you view yourself. 8 has a tendency to be very pessimistic. So I want you to be able to look at yourself and be honest about what you love, what you enjoy, what you appreciate, what you want to nurture and get more of from yourself. That is very big for you this year, of that perception of yourself. And of course, I would love it to be a positive one, but with 8's connection to depression, we also have those mood swings that are likely to come up in there as well. So I really want you to work on that, and also having people who are there to support you as you go through these ebbs and flows that this year has. So I don't want you to be so hyper individualistic. I want you to be able to be self-reliant, but within reason, because I think communal support was very much beneficial when it's done correctly. So I want you to be able to have a strong support system as well. So I want you to build up that support system as much as you can and stand on those boundaries, but don't let yourself push people away to the point where you're isolated and are very detached from everything. I want you to be able to get that space with yourself, but I also want you to be able to indulge in community, because you deserve those communal experiences that are enjoyable and aren't so much harmful to you, because it's of connection to trauma and abuse. So that might be a space in an area where you don't feel the most comfortable or the safest in regards to having a number 8 dominantly in your numbers, and that can also be something that you might experience in this 8 year and having a personal 8 year if you do have one. But I do want you to be able to feel safe in those spaces, which does come with open communication and also shifting the perspective a little bit to be able to understand what's going on, not only on your side but other people's sides as well. But this also brings up pleasure and sensory stimulation. 8 has a tendency to be very much a workaholic, and work and career are something that comes up for the number 8 this year. But in regards to those things, I want you to make sure you're not overworking. I want you to be able to indulge in yourself and indulge in pleasure and things that feel good, things that are outside of stress and worry and frustration and I just gotta hustle. No, we've hustled. We've made it to where we are, and we're still continuing to build. This is not by any means me telling you to stop everything that you're doing. I just want you to get better at regulating what you're doing so that you get to enjoy life in and of itself, because you do deserve an enjoyable experience. So I want you to take that time to build better relationships with your emotions, along with building those relationships with the people that you have around you, especially those family people. So I want you to take that time to do that internal work, as nasty as it be sometimes, to really get you to a point where you can really feel good and understand what things feel like outside of stress, and really be able to comprehend and sit in those feelings and not always just have the thoughts around them. I also want you to work on your confidence. That's a big theme for you this year, especially with 8's connection to power. So with power being such a big theme, you might feel a little bit more confident this year. And even if you don't, I want you to work towards that so you can take over those career and work environments, because that is, like I said, something that's very much highlighted for you with it being a universal 8 year. But I also want you to be patient with yourself. 8 is a number that rolls over time. So with its connection to time, things take time. And that time, in regards to the amount, is completely unknown. So I want you to be able to be patient with yourself and not too much rush the process, because I do know that 8, even though it is a little bit more slow moving, it can sometimes get a little bit frustrated with the stagnancy. So I want you to be able to be patient with everything that you're working towards, so that as you're building it up, you're walking up these stairs, you're getting to this next level, that you have everything that you need very structurally sound in regards to how it's built, instead of having so many holes or a little creaky boards in there. I want you to be able to have a very stable foundation as well. Now, I did say career is in there and work is in there, but also artistic pursuits. I think expression is something that the number 8 will experience a little bit more this year. Of how are you expressing yourself, and how much do you want to express yourself? 8 can be, like I said before, isolated and very reserved and kept to itself, and then there's nothing wrong with that inherently, but I want you to be able to find spaces where you do feel comfortable to be artistic and to be creative and to truly express yourself. Now, I want you to also be prepared for some unexpected shifts, some changes in power dynamics, some materialism, and also some slow moving energy this year, just because even though this is a universal 8 year and it's a 8 for you per se, of like there's 2 8s and that's aligned energy. There's that synchronicity of sorts. That doesn't mean that 8 energy is suddenly gonna not exist for you. No, there's gonna be some changes because 8 be moving and shaking just like the rest of the numbers. There's gonna be some impacts to power dynamics. There's gonna be some overindulgence in material things, and also some holding on to some material things, which also brings up trying to control the uncontrollable. I want you to work on that. I don't want you to be over here trying to vice grip your way through life of trying to hold on to this and hold on to that and make sure everybody's... No. I want you to ease up a little bit and control yourself, and also lead by example if there's something that you're trying to get somebody else to do, and also allow that person to be their own autonomous human being, because it can have the tendency to snatch autonomy and abuse that other's autonomy. So I want you to be able to take that space for yourself and work on your autonomy first before you touch anybody else's, because that's just don't do that. Don't leave them people alone. Leave them babies alone. But I also want you to allow yourself the freedom. I think sometimes 8, in regards to its connection to authority and structure and strictness of some sort, and also discipline, it can sometimes forget to simply just exist. So allow yourself to indulge in a little bit of boredom, as much as as boring as boredom is. I want you to enjoy the simplicity of existing, and a little bit more of the mundane, and not so much of the extravagance that comes with the number 8, one of them being fame. I want you to be able to just sort of kind of sit and exist and enjoy that, because that's a very good thing for your sanity. So now there's some difficulties around overindulgence, avoidance, trauma, greed, like I said before, overworking. There's also some lawsuits in there and things in regards to the legal system. There's also some self-isolation and instability. So I want you to be mindful of everything we've already spoken about, in regards to not controlling the uncontrollable, because there's nothing we can do. And there's also an emphasis around karma, of how have you been showing up for these past years of your life, and also in regards to not only last year but the years prior, and just who have you been, how have you shown up. And this isn't to get you to worry about, oh my gosh, I was a horrible person. It's like, no, just understand what you've done and take accountability for all of those things. Accountability is another big thing for you. So I want you to be mindful of those things, and also do what you've been putting off. If there's something that you've been like, you know what, I'll get to it later, take this as your sign to actually do the thing. Thank you, management. Now getting into the months to note for you. January, March, and May are some cute months, as well as December, but there's an emphasis on July, August, September, and October. Those are the 4 months that I really want to highlight for you. So starting off with July is going to be a universal 6 month. This emphasizes a materialism. And I think that this will be a very impactful money month, in regards to that relationality between 6 and 8. Now, if you listened to, I want to say, the number 6 episode, that's something that we talked about, is that materialism between 6 and 8, and also I have been discussed a little bit in the number 3. Anyways, so that relationality between 6 and 8 highlights that level of materialism, but it also highlights indulgence. So I really want you to work on your boundaries and allowing yourself to know your limits in regards to how much you're willing to spend, how much you're willing to indulge, what you're willing to actually spend and invest into and on, because you do deserve that pleasure. But also I want you to not be putting yourself in a position where you're now missing out on something that you need later on down the line. So be smart with it, and also work with a professional can be beneficial in regards to July, in regards to money things specifically. Now we get to August. August is going to be universal 7 month. I don't know if I said this for July, but July is going to be a universal 6 month. August will be a universal 7 month. And with that universal 7 energy in there, there's an emphasis on that spiritual space and that internal space. So this is a great month to do some of that deep work within yourself, of getting a better relationship with yourself, of working through those emotions, because I know that 8 has that tendency to avoid emotions and avoid feeling, because it's like, let me get this stuff done, let me get out of the way. And also in the same time, being in more of an intellectual space. So it can sometimes struggle to actually feel the things, but also find a very happy balance between feeling and acknowledging on a astrological side. So I want you to be able to indulge in that. So this might also be a cute month to research and learn something new. Now, when we step into September, that's going to be Universal 8 year. So we have a re-emphasis on all the 8 themes that we spoke about already. And then when we get to October, we get a Universal 9 month, which does also circle back to January in regards to that 9 energy, because January is going to be a Universal 9 month as well. But 8 and 9 together emphasizes a strong emphasis on power, a strong emphasis on revolution and transition and transformation and change and evolution in and of itself. So that you might find yourself and also the people around you changing and also revolting in some senses and revolutionizing in some ways, and also a level of destruction and change and challenge might come up in October specifically. Now, there are those months, but you also do have personal numerology that is going to be impacted this year. So if you want to learn more about that, I would definitely say tap in with me, because I do understand numbers on a very broad scale, and I would love to help you out in regards to your success this year. So make sure you tap in with me if you're interested in that, or somebody else who you know who understands numbers, or even work with an astrologer, somebody who does human design, tarot, any other spiritual work. That would be beneficial. Or even share this with somebody who has a number 8 or wants to learn more about numbers to help them out as well, because we want to help out the community, because why not? But thank you so much for listening. I hope this year treats you well, considering that it's going to be Universal 8 year and you have the number 8 dominant for you. So I hope it treats you well. But make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Numbers with Jacari to keep up with me. Thank you again for listening, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.